What is up, duelists, and welcome back to another new archetype, new card review. We have another entirely new archetype from the deck build pack Glorious Victors here, and that is the third and final one. As you guys know, the deck build packs usually come with 3 new archetypes, and for this one, the first one we had was the Senet archetype, which was like ritual, normal monster related. Just yesterday, we looked at Xenovaders, which are the ones where they're trying to banish their entire deck. Your own deck, and then get benefits from that, which I thought was awesome. That archetype was a banger. And now we have the third in the bunch, the Raise Moon, which apparently, from what I've heard, is related to a lot of drawing. So there is a chance that I'm going to like that. But of course, drawing a lot of cards is very, very powerful as well. So I'm expecting some restrictions. So let's take a look at what we are working with here. We're starting with Raise Moon Veil Cielo. Level 7 Light Spellcaster, 2100, 2100. You can only use the third effect once per turn. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it. Okay, in an archetype that is related to drawing cards, that is one way to get this card onto the field. If this card is in your hand, you can place one other card from your hand or face of field on the bottom of the deck, special summon this card. Okay, so this is, I guess, what you are supposed to do if you don't draw this card during the game, or if you open it. Because I guess this might be a question that some people have. Drawing your opening hand, your first 5 cards of the duel, does not allow you to activate this effect. You don't get to just draw your first 5 and immediately special cards like this out. It only works when you draw them during the game. And drawing your opening hand is not considered to be a part of the game itself. It does work if you draw this card during your draw phase, which, of course, on the first turn, there is no draw phase anymore. But it doesn't have to be drawn by a card effect, but opening hand does not work. So, yeah, the question of how you get this card out of your hand if you open it is this, I suppose. During the main phase, quick effect, you can draw 1 card. You know, that's all I need. I'm a simple man. I see quick effect, draw 1, I'm happy. You cannot add cards from the deck to the hand the turn you activate this effect, except by drawing them. Oh. Okay, I wonder if that's going to be a recurring theme, this kind of lock in this deck, but I could see that happening, and that's an interesting one. That right off the bat, that's an interesting way to balance an archetype based around drawing, because of course in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Searching is so relevant and everywhere essentially that, I mean, this, and especially I like the fact that this is also a lock that is over the entire turn. Which is something that is often underestimated in cards, I feel like, because a lot of cards these days, you just say like, for the rest of this turn, you cannot do this or that. And I think that is a relatively weak lock, because you can just do all kinds of things beforehand, also bridge into the cards, and then do that. With this one in particular, that doesn't work, because if you search this, for example, if you find a way to, you know, bridge into this archetype, for example, by searching any spellcaster or something like that, this won't work. You can't use it. But it's just the first one. Let's see if there's a theme. Raise Moon Elegance Carol. Level 7 Dark Zombie. Okay, so we've got different type and different attribute. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it. It's funny, I just noticed. Reveal it means it doesn't work under Mind Scan, so good job at releasing these in a format in the OCG where Toon is essentially Tier 0 right now, alongside Elf Notes. It's not the only deck. Tier 0 is the wrong word, but it's definitely the best deck alongside Elf Notes, and that won't work under Mind Scan, so cool stuff. This pack is releasing next month in the OCG, by the way, and we should get it in a couple of months from now. So I don't think there is a release date for the TCG yet, but with the deck building packs, we usually get them like 1-to-1 in the TCG. You can normal summon this card without tributing, but its original attack becomes 700. Okay. If this card is normal or special from the hand, you can draw 1 card. Also, you cannot special from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except light monsters, light XYZ monsters. You cannot add cards from the deck to the hand the turn you activate this effect except by drawing. Okay, same lock here. Even harsher lock for only being able to summon light XYZ. So a very properly locked archetype so far. I like that. I think that is good. I think this is something that they should do more. And so far, every single card is drawing cards, so I'm all here for it. I love drawing cards, man. Raise Moon Wings Rapi. Level 7 Earth Beast. 700 attack, 2100 defense. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it. If this card is normal or special from the hand, you can draw one card. Also, you cannot special from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except light XYZs. You cannot add cards. Okay, this is the exact same effect that this one has, but this one does not have the effect to just normal summon itself. So this one is quote-unquote a brick in your hand so far. Once per opponent's turn, you can quick effect XYZ summon a rank 7 light. Okay. This is probably my least favorite one so far because this one feels bricky to me. There is no... I mean, you can place it on top of your deck. I guess that's the idea. I guess that's the idea here with this one. The first one, you can just place one of them because they all trigger when drawn. You can just place one on top of your deck, summon this. This draws a card, and then you know what you draw. You're going to draw the one that you just put on top, trigger that one, special it, draw another card, and now you're set up for a rank 7 XYZ, which I guess they're going to have some rank 7 XYZs. We're going to see in a second. Okay. But still, this one, with no way of making it live, this card in your hand is going to be a brick. Raise Moon Blade Shina, level 7 Wind Warrior. You can only use this card's third effect once per turn. When you draw this card, reveal its special... Whoa, hold up. Oh! I'm just now noticing this. I often skip over the once per turn clauses because I'm so used to everything being once per turn. When you draw this special it on this one is not once per turn. This has nothing on it is once per turn. So every time you summon it, you can draw a card. And this one is also nothing here is once per turn. So you can just chain these as long as you draw them, I guess, is the idea. That's why they're related to Gamba. Because if you keep drawing them, you keep summoning more, and you keep drawing more cards. Okay. I missed that. Okay, I mean, okay. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it. If this card is special summoned by its first effect, you can target a monster your opponent controls, place it on the bottom of the deck. Okay, we've got removal here. You can discard this card, draw one card. You cannot add cards from the deck to the hand the turn you activate this effect, except by drawing them. Okay, you can discard this card, draw one card, simple enough. And if it's summoned, it's removal. That's cool. Yeah, I mean... The thing is, like, there is a lot of potential here with if you get lucky and you just draw a bunch of them, you will draw a lot of cards. The problem, the reason why it's maybe not as broken as it might seem is because as soon as you don't hit one, the chain basically stops, right? Like, because it's like, okay, if this one draws this, then you draw another one of these. You can special them all, you can draw more, but they always only draw one, and if that one card you draw isn't another one of them, it stops, right? You just stop right there. Okay. Raise Moon Lamp Crucier, I have no idea. Level 7 Fire Dragon. 2800 attack. You can only use the third effect once per turn. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it. Wait, did they all have when you can. So they do miss timing. There is a drawback here. If you draw them as Chainlink 2 or higher, or I believe Upstart Goblin, for example, which is one of the simplest, I mean, that would be a pretty obvious inclusion in this deck, but I think Upstart is draw one, then your opponent gains 1,000 life points, which would mean that these would all miss timing, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I've made a when you can. But I think they miss timing. If this card is special summoned by its first effect, target a spell trap, place it on the bottom of the deck, discard this card, draw one card. You cannot add cards from the deck to the hand. I mean, to be fair, now that I'm reading this and this, they don't really need Upstart Goblin because, I mean, they got multiple Upstart Goblins in the archetype. Now, these are all, the third effects on these two are hard ones per turn. So you can only do this once. But still, the fact that you can just draw more cards in this archetype, it seems pretty relevant. And then we've got Raise Moon Starter Squeeze, little turtle guy. 700 attack, 1400 defense. Cannot add cards from the deck to the hand during the duel you activate this card's effect, except by drawing them. Okay. Now we're talking a harsh lock. I'm expecting this one to be better than the other ones. Quick effect, you can discard this card, activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of this card's name once per turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck until the end of the next turn, except rank 7 monsters. Also, this turn, each time a card is added to your opponent's hand except by drawing, draw one. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay, hold up. So this is the Molcharmy. This is the Molcharmy Droll and Lockbird fusion that people have been asking for, but with a very, very harsh lock attached to it. I mean, the lock on this card is so harsh that I would say this only really goes into this particular deck. Actually, that's not true. This can go into any deck that doesn't search, which that excludes a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Almost every single meta deck at the moment, or I think every single meta deck at the moment would not be able to work under this condition, whether it's a combo deck or a more mid-rangey deck. Like even Branded, I think, has issues with this. Even though in Branded, actually, besides Branded in High Spirits and the Dear Servant, and the Dragon that devours the dogma. Actually, no, every meta deck needs to add cards right now. But if there's ever a meta deck that doesn't need to add cards at all, this would be able to be played as a hand trap. Like this is and this thing doesn't even have the Molcharmy clause on it. You can use this when you go first. So like behind a board, that is an incredibly powerful effect. And that alone, unironically, that alone might be reason enough to play a deck like this, because that is an incredibly strong effect. That is crazy. That might even be a reason to play an entirely different deck in the future, where just you play like a rogue deck, but it doesn't need to search, so it plays this card. That is crazy. It also locks you into rank 7s in particular, so that is even more harsh. That is even harder to make work for decks. So your deck needs to be essentially not reliant on the extra deck, or be fine with summoning rank 7s only. And it needs to never search. Those are some incredibly harsh restrictions. But as a payoff, you get an incredibly strong card. And I mean, let's just keep it to the archetype for now, because this is an incredible card in this archetype, right? Because everything you draw will trigger. So this is like the dream scenario. And also, I mean, Molcharmies also are incredibly strong in this deck, right? Like Molcharmies are going to be crazy in this deck. If you give them a draw and just these guys keep popping out, that is crazy. Okay, dude, I gotta say, the deck building pack Glorious Victors over the last 2 releases or reveals has really become one of the most interesting deck building packs that I've ever seen. And I don't even know if these last 2 archetypes in Xenovaders and now these, I don't even know if they're actually good or not, or if they're just gimmicky. But I do love how different they are. They are very, very interesting. And I mean, this card, we haven't even finished reading all the cards, but this card alone is a reason to play this deck. This is one of the best turn 0 hand traps in archetype that we've ever got. It might be the best one. I think this is better than Holly Sue. I think this is better than 5 mana. This is insane. This is an insane effect to have in your deck. Actually insane. Dude, people might side deck this card in other decks just because of how powerful it is, or even main deck it in other decks and build their deck around it because of how good this is. Okay, let's keep reading. Now we got the extra deck monsters. All right, we've got Raise Moon, Sky Cielo, No More Bets, rank 7 light spellcaster XYZ. 2 level 7 Raise Moon monsters cannot be used as material for a Fusion XYZ or Link Summon. Gains these effects while in the extra monster zone, unaffected by other card effects. Okay, I mean, it's only 2100 though. When an opponent's activated card or effect resolves that includes an effect that adds a card from deck to the hand, you can make that effect become draw 1 card. Okay, that is a Ryziel Cross type effect. However, it does give your opponent a card. So we are, quote unquote, negating any card, but we are giving our opponent a new card, which I feel like if every negate worked like this, I would not be on a vendetta against negates right now. Like if I got a card back every time my opponent omni negated me, I would be happy with that, I think. Or my happier, at least. Let's say it like that. Happier. Once per turn, quick effect, detach 1 material from this card, draw a card. If this card in its owner's possession is sent to the grave by your opponent, you can draw 1 card. I mean, This card does everything this deck wants. I mean, you just draw multiple cards if you make this. It does let you stop an important card. Your opponent gets a card as well. I mean, yeah. And then if it goes to grave by the opponent, you draw another card. I mean, it's the perfect kind of rank 7 for this kind of deck. Really good, really good. You cannot make it in other decks. It does need Raise Moons, is worth noting. And then we've got the Jackpot, Raise Moon Hope Squeeze Jackpot. This reminds me of that prize card from Worlds, the Grandopolis. That was also a turtle, and I think it was also like gambling related, because I think that was the Worlds prize card that was given out in the year that the World Championship was in Las Vegas. Okay. Level 7 Light Machine, 2 level 7 monsters. You can only use the second effect once per turn. Your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks, except this one. If this card exceeds summoned or a monster is special from the hand, you can detach any number of materials from this card. Place that many cards your opponent controls on the bottom of the deck in any order. Okay. You know what? That is solid rank 7 generic, because this one is generic for more level 7s. And non-target removal to the bottom of the deck is a powerful form of removal for sure. Not the most powerful one. I would say non-target banish would be even stronger. Or non-target push stuff into the spell trap zone. But bottom of the deck is pretty good in terms of removal quality, because it does play around can't be destroyed or triggers engrave or anything like that. And even can be used as an interruption. This is, of course, significantly easier to control when you use it is if you use it on summon, like when you're playing into a board. But of course, you can also just summon this thing past the turn and then try to trigger something that summons from the hand, either from your side, one of these guys, or from your opponent's side. If they special from hand, you can also do this. So it can be pretty solid disruption. Each time your opponent makes a card leave their deck, except by drawing them, you can attach the top card of their deck to this card. Okay, so you have a way to refill the materials, which is interesting. The bounce effect is once per turn. So once you've used it, even if you accumulate more material afterwards, that is going to not matter on that turn, but maybe on a future turn if it survives. Attaching your opponent's top card is somewhat of a dangerous endeavor, because I mean, it can be a massive benefit if you hit like a random one of or something. That can be really good, but you also do have to take into account that this does eventually put the card into the graveyard, either by detaching it or when this card gets destroyed. So there is a chance, depending on the matchup, that you just happen to hit a card that has a good graveyard effect, and that will end up in the graveyard for your opponent. So it's a little bit, it can be a double-edged sword, which I feel like, I mean, it just feels like it's on theme for this deck, that this can be an upside, can be a downside. Because, I mean, everything here is gambling related so far. Is this the first card so far that doesn't draw? I think this is the first card officially in this archetype that doesn't draw a card. But okay, we'll forgive you, because you're supposed to be the boss monster that you summon. And I think it was important that they got at least, because I'm seeing the next card is already a spell. It was important that they got at least 2 good XYZ monsters. And I think both of these are good, for sure. Both of these are good cards. And I think that was important because, I mean, this deck has a lot of spamming potential, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 main deck monsters that you would, I think, all want to play at 3. This one because it's crazy nuts. And all the other ones because they all have the when you draw it special it. And so the reason why you would probably want to play all of these at 3 is just so your odds are as good as possible when you draw a card. That just makes the deck tick, is when you draw these guys and you can keep going. So I feel like that is kind of the idea here, is playing all of these at 3. And then if you spam all these bodies, what do you do with it? Well, the answer is you make these rank 7s, which are both pretty good, I would say. Both of these are pretty good. Okay, this only gains these effects while in the extra monster zone. Oh, I misread this guy. I'm so sorry. I misread the no more bets. It's only when a card resolves that includes an effect that adds. It's not an Omni. It is worse, but it's also, I'm sorry, these cards are so unusual that I keep assuming that they have a once per turn. This is also not once per turn, but it is technically once per copy because it's only when it's in the EMZ. So you can't have multiple of it at the same time. But you do get to, you can change a search effect to a draw, which I feel like is definitely worse than what I thought it was in the beginning. Yeah, that's a little, at the point where I'm saying this right now that I've noticed it, I assume a lot of you guys have already typed it into the comment section that I misread it. But yeah, I just noticed, don't worry. This is where if I had done this live, I'm not streaming today, which is why I'm doing this offline. People would have pointed it out already like 5 minutes ago, but all right, it doesn't change that much. The card is still good. The card is still good, but the negation effect is weaker, which in my opinion, that's a win in my book. I mean, negations, if the weaker a negation are, the better for me. So okay. All right, spell card. Raise Moon, the city that never sleeps. Continuous spell. The first time each level 7 Raise Moon would be destroyed by a card effect each turn. It's not destroyed. Okay, only level 7, not the XYZs, only the level 7s. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Place a card from your hand on the top or bottom of the deck, then draw one card. That is a phenomenal effect for this archetype. I mean, phenomenal. It's essentially, you can special one from your hand if you are bricked on one of them, or you can put something to the bottom and draw a fresh card, which is good. Or if you control a spellcaster, Raise Moon XYZ, you can draw one card. Spellcaster was only this one. This one was the only one. So if you control this, you can just draw a card. But you can also use this. It's kind of cool. You can use it as like a starter, quote unquote, in combination, in combination of two cards. Or if you can already play the game, you can then later on just draw a card with it. Once per turn during the end phase, shuffle all Raise Moon cards in your grave and banishment into the deck. Okay, this is going to make this deck essentially not deck itself out ever, which is the opposite of Xenovaders. But yeah, you just put them all back. And this is relevant because this is going to keep your odds of hitting them high, right? Like they don't seem to have any graveyard related effects or banish related effects. So when they're gone, they're gone. So just put them all back and make sure that your odds of drawing them again is higher, which makes sense. Not a crazy strong, it's not even a field spell. I was about to say a strong field spell, but it's a continuous spell. So you can activate multiple, which is that's definitely better than if it was a field spell. And it's not a crazy like starter or anything. It's only a starter in 2-card combinations, but it's a card that makes sense in the archetype. I think you would still want to draw it. It's a little bit of a missed opportunity to not give the spell traps an effect that happens when they get drawn, that you like reveal it and do something. That would have been pretty cool, I feel like. But okay, it's all right. And then we have a trap card, the Glitter of Raise Moon, normal trap. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. You cannot add cards from the deck to the hand. During the duel, you activate this card's first or second effect, except by drawing them. Special a Raise Moon XYZ monster from your extra deck. And if you do, attach this card to it, then you can shuffle all Raise Moon cards in your grave into the deck. Or banish this card from the grave, draw one card. Oh, hold up. Hold up, hold up. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking right now? You're not thinking what I'm thinking right now. This card is good in Paleo. I mean, actually, okay, you cannot use Opabinia during the duel. That's a pretty harsh restriction. But this is a pretty cool trap card to mill because it draws you a card. And if you draw it, well, I mean, activate it, chain a Paleo to it, bring out one of these two, and either get Disruption or draw more cards. It's a cool card. I dig it. I mean, giving up on Opabinia searches for the entirety of the game is rough, but I think that's the only card that you really use to search in Paleo. Anyways, okay, I digress. This is a good card for this archetype, unironically. I mean, you can use both effects on the same turn. If you draw multiple copies of this, the activation is not hard once per turn. And you just summon out your XYZ monsters. It's pretty solid. I think one thing this deck is lacking, quote unquote, is just more XYZ monsters. This is something where I would have to check the database because, of course, you're locked into rank 7 XYZs, even light XYZs in some cases. So the question is, what else can you make? I can't think of anything super crazy right now in the rank 7 light XYZ monsters section. But yeah, there's probably something else that you can make. Okay, what do I think of these? This is a tough one, and I love that. I love that. Similar to Xenovaders, I don't know what to think of these. I mean, first of all, You're drawing a lot of cards. I love that. We've got proper locks. I love that as well. This deck is essentially forced to be played in the way that they designed it. Like I don't really see the potential here to splash this in other decks. I don't really see the potential here to bridge into this because bridging usually involves searching, which locks you out of these cards. If you search, you can't use these cards. So it's really hard to bridge into this unless I guess you could like send one to the graveyard and then revive it or summon one from deck directly. That would work. But even in the process of getting there, like your secondary engine also would not be allowed to include searching. So for example, if you wanted to try to like use Magician Souls to bridge into this by sending it from deck to grave, well, you cannot search the Magician Souls. You might still play Magician Souls, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because you can just play it, and if you draw it, it's good, and you send this for cost, and then you send your trap card to the graveyard, which draws a card, and then you draw another card with Magician Souls, and, you know, it can be like a pseudo starter in the deck. Probably a good card in it, but bridging is hard. Bridging is hard, and I love that. It is proper locks, no searching, just rank 7s, really good locks on it. This card here, I think, is where this archetype is going to be polarizing, right? This card alone is the reason, I think, why this deck could be considered broken or too strong. Also, especially the fact that this card works when you go first as well. You can use this when you have a board, which is concerning. This is such a good card that it might actually make people reconsider how they built their decks. Like a deck that this is a hypothetical example, but a deck that doesn't search much might consider cutting down on some searchers just to be able to play this card because of how good this card is. And that is kind of crazy. But this card alone kind of like makes me want to play the archetype. But in general, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm really interested in what people think of this deck because I feel like this is polarizing design, I think. Some people are going to love this. Some people are going to hate this. I just like that it's different, personally, because I can already see that this plays in a very, very special and different way, which was the same feeling I had with the Xenovaders. I felt like Xenovaders was kind of similar in the sense that, like, some people will probably love it. Some people probably will just not like it at all. But I just love how different it is. And this really, I gotta say, Deck Build Pack Glorious Victors, when they announced the Senate deck, I was a little bit disappointed. That was a few weeks ago. I didn't love those cards that much, but the last two have really turned it around for me. Like, I am a huge fan of this pack. I think this is something they should do so much more often. It's just make something really creative happen, make something that is super different and unique, and just see where it goes. And I mean, both Raise Moon and Xenovaders are definitely that. Whether you like it or not, like whether you're a fan of the archetype or not is besides the point, but like you cannot argue with the fact that these are super unique and different, and I think that's awesome. So we'll see where this goes. So let me know if you think these are good or not. Personally, I think this is worth playing just because, I mean, this card alone makes this at least tier 2, but I think it might be better than that, especially if there's more stuff to come, right? Another good rank 7, another good main deck monster to increase your odds of drawing the right stuff, and we're cooking. And the deck looks good to me. It looks good to me. The amount of interruption is actually kind of minimal, but you just like keep adding draws together. You just keep drawing and doing little things. I feel like it could be good enough. Still, maybe it's lacking disruption though. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.